Everyone loves an unexpected plot twist, but your education shouldn't be one of them. And nobody understands that better than Southern New Hampshire University. SNHU's online degree programs provide the flexibility you need, backed by support you can count on. With over 200 affordable options in psychology, criminal justice, business, and more, SNHU is built to fit your life and your budget. Visit snhu.edu/lastpodcast to learn more. That's snhu.edu/lastpodcast. Insurance isn't one size fits all. That's why drivers have trusted Progressive's Name Your Price tool for years. Just tell Progressive what you want to pay, and they'll show you coverage options that fit your budget. Visit Progressive.com to find a car insurance rate that works for you. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law.
There's no place to escape to.
This is the last podcast.
On the left. That's when the cannibalism started.
What was that?
Honestly, I think the reason why I am so hungover is because it has been difficult to get food.
Yeah.
Are you on the food plan?
The food plan here? No, I wasn't. I'm not. I don't think I might be. Who knows? I'm not good at knowing things.
Yeah.
I'm not good at details about my own life.
Do people just hand you food?
Well, this show should be great.
Yeah.
Welcome to the last podcast on the left, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Hello.
We can't hear your applause.
Yes.
Your applause doesn't matter. We can't hear it.
My name is Marcus Parks. I'm here with Henry Zabrowski.
Yes. Hi, hello. Welcome to a very special edition of Last Podcast on the Left, sent directly into your headphones as you sit in the chair here in the Steer Lounge.
And Ed Larson.
Hello.
And with us today is a very special guest, our man, Dave Foley,
That would be me.
host of the podcast, really, and of course, alum of Kids in the Hall. Everyone give Dave a hand.
Yeah.
You're very good.
It's an honor, buddy.
It
It's
is
an honor.
Absolute
Thank you.
honor for all three of us.
I'm assuming it's a pleasure for me to be here.
Yeah.
I'm, so far the evidence is piling up that it's a pleasure. to be
Things are
here.
fine
Yeah.
so far.
Yeah.
Yeah. And just so you guys know, a lot of people are super curious about Dave's illustrious comedy career and all the incredible things that he's done in acting and comedy. And we're not going to talk about a single one of those things. We're not going to broach his history.
No.
We're not going to talk about the people he knows, the incredible show business connections he has.
I'm just here to talk about my porcelain figurine collection.
Really?
Yeah. They're my friends. They're my little friends.
You kind of look like a Hummel.
Yeah, I'm definitely looking more and more like porcelain as I get older. Yeah.
So Dave, your podcast, of course, is all about aliens. That's why we're here at Contact in the Desert. And it's a guest-based podcast. You have a lot of guests on. So what is your favorite type of guest to have? Like military, civilian, academic?
It's weird. I mean, it's I guess something like some of the most moving ones have been like friends that like one was my friend Robin Roseanne, who I didn't even know had an UFO experience, and I've known her for over 30 years, like almost 40 years, and she'd been living with this thing in her, this incident in her life, and been like ashamed of it. It was like carrying that around. And we also had a friend of Tom's who had an abduction experience. And I think it's like like those kind of human stories. But then we've definitely had some really amazing guests on, some from the military. We had Mario Woods on, who saw a huge a UFO he described as being the size of a Walmart, above a nuclear missile silo.
I love that stuff.
Like the Hudson. It sounds a lot like the Hudson Valley incident.
Well, that's my friend Robin was in the Hudson Valley incident. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So she was there, and she said like her whole neighborhood, like 1,000 people were out in the street looking at this gigantic craft, and then like the next day, no one would talk about it. Like everybody just went, oh no, everyone will think we're crazy.
It's the stigma was real for a very long time. Now I feel like I don't know. Is it still a stigma?
Not in this room.
No, not here. No.
Why are you here? How did you get here, Dave? Like, how did you get to the UFO sickness? Like, why do you have this?
Yeah, has it always been like when you were like writing, like having a good attitude about menstruation? Were you like reading the alien books in between all those sketches?
I was always interested in it, and I think, and I did write some sketches about aliens, and some of them I kind of regret a little now. But but it was always something I was interested in, and even like when I was doing news radio, like Joe Rogan and I would talk about UFOs all the time back in those days.
Oh yeah,
That's right. That you were with, but that was like before. For a long time, Rogan was a skeptic.
Well, he was a hardcore believer back in the 90s.
Yeah.
And then then I was actually gonna go on his podcast, and the night before, I texted him and said, Joe, you're going to be excited to know that I'm deep into UFOs right now. And he texted back, that's all bullshit.
Yeah, that was
I
like
was going, what the fuck?
he went through a whole phase where he was deeply anti-UFO, and then I was really surprised when he was like kind of now the face of the new whistleblower movement.
You can thank me for that. Because that night after he texted that, I said really? Well, and I texted him a bunch of movies that I thought he should watch. Mm-hmm. One of them was Jeremy Corbell's Bob Lazar movie, but also some James Fox's stuff. And then like at 4 a.m, I get a text from Joe saying, I'm back in.
So what was it that turned you back around to this like new renaissance of alien, interest?
I think the thing that really got me was James Fox's movie, Out of the Blue.
Yeah.
Which was like, I think it was the first documentary I saw that was well made.
Yes, very well made.
Had Peter Coyote narrating it, so it seemed, sounded authoritative. And it was also just, it was the first time I was exposed to a lot of these incredible witnesses from military and government and fighter pilots from all over the world, all these amazing stories that I wasn't aware of.
It was the one that turned both me and my wife around. It was like we just watched it on a whim one night, and by the end of it, we looked at each other and were like, "Oh fuck!"
Yeah. It was just sort of going, well, I like to think of myself as a smart person.
Yeah.
And if this is going on, as a smart person, I should be paying attention. And how was I discouraged from caring about this for so long?
Yeah, and I guess to that point, like what type of witness do you consider to be the most trustworthy?
Like the most, I think probably fighter pilots.
Yeah, that's where I'm at too.
Yeah, just because
they have so much to lose.
Well, yes,
And that's what they do. They look out a cockpit all day.
Yeah, and they're training because there's always that. To be generous, I'll call them those idiots who say, "Well, eyewitness testimony is the worst kind of testimony." And I was going, oh, well, all right, that makes, if you're standing in a bank and a bunch of people come in with guns and hold the place up, you're not going to be a great witness because you're going to be panicked and you're not going to be, you're going to be fearful and that's going to affect your, but I say like if you ask me to walk through a park and then when I get to the other end, Dave, tell me all the plants you saw. So I'll be pretty vague. I'll say, I saw some trees. I saw a palm tree. There was grass and some shrubs. All right, but if you ask a botanist to walk through that park and at the other end of it say, well, tell us what you saw, you'll get a lot more detail. But if you tell the botanist beforehand, we want you to tell us everything you see in this park, at the other end of it, they'll have incredible detail and they'll have observed very closely everything. And that's what fighter pilots do because they know after every mission they fly, they'll be debriefed. Even if nothing happens, they'll be debriefed on it and they'll have to give a full account of everything they did on that mission.
And you'll definitely have to tell that botanist to shut that ever-living fuck up.
Yeah.
You should
I'm
shut
sorry I
up about
asked.
the plants.
Yeah.
Why are you doing this?
Yeah.
Why did I ask you to do this in the first place?
Yeah.
And that's what makes me just fascinated about like fighter pilots, passenger jet pilots.
Mm-hmm.
The amount that have been coming out now. It's mind-boggling to think of how many there are that have said nothing. That are afraid to come out. There has to be thousands.
And still, I mean, look, there was like because pilots who did say things in the past, they lost their chance to fly planes anymore.
Yeah, especially if you work for like Delta, they don't want people like that.
Yeah, I want my experiencers in the Delta Lounge. Like I'll hang with them in the lounge, and I would like it's nice to hang out at the Cabo Wabo with the. But it's having them fly the plane would scare me.
Yeah, well,
Be like that's not what I want. I do.
You think this UFO wants to play chicken?
Well, I was also, we just had a conversation with George Knapp and Jeremy Corbell, and one of the things that we talked about was the fact that a lot of these guys kind of get off on the fact that they have secrets. There is that other side of it where and then George Knapp kept bringing up the fact that some people do actually are patriots.
Yeah,
which I forget.
Yeah,
because the word patriot to me is a bad word.
Yeah, it's been colored. By horrible people.
Because I also like
Tom Brady.
Yeah.
Also, why would you pat yourself on the back for just coming out the vagina wherever you're at? You didn't choose it.
Yeah. Well, some argue. I don't believe it, but some say we choose our parents.
God,
yeah.
I did.
I didn't. I did. No, man. If that's really on me, then I owe me an apology. Yeah.
Now, when it comes to this subject, don't you feel like secrecy is counterproductive to learning anything?
Certainly the people that aren't keeping the secret, sure. Yeah. But that's the thing. I'm sympathetic to the notion that there are things that need to be kept secret.
Yeah.
There are national security concerns. Then because there are adversaries that do wish us harm, and of course they feel the same way about us.
Yeah.
But
can you mention giving all of these secrets to other comedians? You know what I mean? Like this is not like just the fact that comedians are embracing this subject, and they're the least respected, least trusted source of, as they should be, as they're supposed to be. So it does sort of seem very appropriate
to keep the secrets from us, or to give them
maybe
to us,
to give them to us. Maybe the idea is to let us. Like that's why we're getting all these great guests in the UFO world.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing: comedians were for decades. We were really good, useful idiots for creating the stigma. Comedians played an outsized role in really harming people who had these experiences.
Yes.
Oh, I mean, how many anal probe jokes have been made?
I wrote a whole sketch about it, man. So,
I know.
Yes. I've made many probing jokes in the probably 25.
Yesterday. You made 25
Yeah.
yesterday.
I have to say, in my defense, when I wrote that sketch, it wasn't really about aliens. It was about how I felt about being in the Kids in the Hall at the time. So I was like, I was really going, it was year 5. How many more of these fucking sketches can I write? And, we got to be so edgy.
So on your podcast, which guest to you has been the most surprising?
The most surprising.
Or even the most fascinating.
Well, now I got to try to remember names because I always forget everybody's names.
Oh, so do I.
Because even my family members.
I just do it by shape and colors.
Yeah.
I mean, we can definitely. We'll give you
the most surprising. Well, no, I would say. I mean, Whitley Strieber was a challenging interview.
Yeah. That's also another adjective we can use when talking about UFO guests. Is challenging.
Challenging.
Yeah, because I was like, going, huh? And it's like so much stuff was coming at us. Tom and I were both going, hold on. And let's go back to this 11-year-old who shows up in your yard. Let's talk. What? And we're trying to figure it. But that was a very, there was a lot to sort of try and grasp and keep straight in your head when you're talking to him. I guess I'll go back to Mario Woods was a really incredible, his story was pretty surprising. There was details I hadn't heard before.
Do you feel like you've already opened your life to so many psychopaths by being in show business?
Yeah.
That is this not just a further descent into bringing kind of unreasonable, undealable with humans into your life?
Well, look, that ship had sailed when I agreed to work with the other kids in the hall.
Yeah.
I gave up any hope of living amongst reasonable people.
At least it gives you a good that's a very good barometer. Then it's good armor.
Yeah, actually, I just realized, you know who was also very surprising was Richard Dolan. But it was really surprising because he was a huge Kids in the Hall fan.
Really?
Which I did not anticipate at all. He was like, he was like fanboying. And I was like, oh my God, and I was trying to think, I don't think I ever remember seeing Richard Dolan laugh.
Yeah, literally, I don't know if I've ever seen him smile.
No, he's always so serious. Yeah. So that was a real surprise. That was a delightful surprise. Yeah.
Is there anyone in Hollywood, or are there people? How prevalent is like the belief in aliens in mainstream Hollywood?
I think it's probably about the same as with any other community. I think it's. I definitely know people that have had experiences and won't talk about it because they're afraid of the stigma still.
Yeah.
They don't want to be considered, crazy UFO people. But then again, once I started talking about UFOs publicly, I was also startled by the number of people who came over to me with their stories and, told me what had happened, to them.
Well, before we get, you mentioned the Mario Wood story, and I know you want to talk about that one. But before we get to that,
I don't want to talk about anything.
That's a real comedian.
You came out with your own UFO experience.
Yeah,
like a very real, credible UFO experience. I saw the drawing that was done of your sighting. Tell us about that. Tell us about that night.
Yeah, well, that was pretty. Yeah, that was. It's weird in ways that aren't just about the UFO part of it. I was with you were just talking to Jeremy Corbell earlier. It was with my friend Jeremy, who I'd become friends with because I was talking about his movie with Joe on Joe's podcast. And Jeremy reached out to me on Twitter, and we became friends. And so after we were friends for a few years, I was out visiting Jeremy, and we were out walking his dog, out on a sort of a country road. And it was a beautiful night. There were all these, and I was standing there, like looking at all the commercial air traffic way off in the distance, and going and thinking, wow, this would be a great night to see something.
Yeah.
And 30 seconds later, Jeremy goes, Dave, turn around. And I turn around, and off right where I had been looking at the air traffic, there was this orangey gold object, about 10 times bigger than anything else over there. And it was pulsing with this orange light, and it had 3 white lights on the front of it as it was coming around. And it was like a sort of a rounded triangle shape, and
like this, kind of like a yield sign.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah. And
sort of like those hearts that are being sold made out of quartz over in the March area.
Oh,
here.
I haven't seen. Oh, I should go get one.
You should go get one.
You should go get that. That'll really rebalance you.
Yeah, and I should get some of the muscariot over there.
What's muscaria?
Mushrooms.
Yeah.
They're legal ones.
Yeah, I have some. We have some. We can get you some.
Yeah. So we saw this thing, and it circles this valley that we're in. Like I said, like goes from like a 2 o'clock position in the sky all the way around to about a 7 o'clock position, and neither of us, like, we didn't say anything. We didn't react to it. We were both just completely silent and calm. Neither one of us got excited. Except at one point, Jeremy goes, I'm not even going to try to take a picture.
Yeah.
And, and I know that Jeremy practices getting his phone out and getting the settings right. And,
Like a quick draw?
Yeah. And I think he's got like a Galaxy phone with the great lenses on it, just for that purpose. And me, it didn't even occur to me to even think about taking a picture.
Yeah. But that's what they say. That's why I get the complaint a lot over all the years of people saying, why is there no good footage? After all of this time, with all of this technology, like, why?
Yeah. With every person in the world has a camera in their pocket.
Yeah.
It's because, thankfully, the phenomena largely impresses you to a point where you don't necessarily want to take a picture immediately.
Yeah, well, I actually felt like when it was over, because, again, we said nothing till it finally went off behind the mountains, and then Jeremy goes, dude, that was a UFO. And I go, yeah, I think that was a UFO. And then we started talking, but I felt like the thing we were looking at was in control of how we responded to it.
That's what you
know?
hear that time and time again.
I felt the same thing when I saw Bruce Springsteen.
Yeah. Why am I not screaming? Yeah. Or why am I still here 3 hours later?
Stop playing Rosalita.
Yeah.
Well, I very much appreciated like the way that you went on Twitter with it. You know, did you draw that yourself?
I
the
did.
Picture of it?
Well, that's the other weird thing is I can't draw. But then, like the next day, I thought I wanted because I felt like this memory was getting pulled out of my head already.
Yeah.
And so I sat down with my iPad and opened up an app I'd never used before. Immediately found exactly the colors I needed. Found exactly the tools I needed to draw it. And in like 15 minutes, I went, oh, okay, I'm done. And again, I can't draw at all. I have no ability. And
it's a very evocative picture.
Yeah, and I sent it to Jeremy right away and said, is this what we saw? And he said, yeah, that's exactly what it looked like. You know?
Damn.
It's incredible. But I do also appreciate your responses. Your responses to other people, it was the classiest way to say, I know what I saw that I've ever read.
Yeah, well, I mean, to me, it was just, I figured... I guess part of like my whole career, I've never really cared much about, what you shouldn't talk about.
Yeah.
Obviously, in the kind of comedy that I've always done. So I thought, well, I don't really care what people think of me, so if I can go out and talk about it and maybe lessen the burden that somebody out there has who's like walking around with an experience that they don't talk about.
It probably also makes you a much better sympathetic interviewer to people who've seen some shit. So you can't, you don't immediately go like, and why didn't you take a picture?
Yeah.
Like as soon as they say.
I know, and it's like, and people kept saying, if this is real, how come why aren't you out there investigating this and trying to prove it? I said, I'm not interested in proving it. Yeah. I have zero interest in proving that I saw this. It's, I'm just telling you an experience I had, and you don't have to believe it. I really don't care.
Unfortunately, again, Dave, you're new to UFO culture, so you're being too reasonable. So I need you to sort of up the anger. I need more reactionary energy from you.
Yes, I know, because it's what I love, and I was talking to George and Jeremy. I love the people that their whole attitude is, I'm bored. Tell me something new. I don't care if you go to prison for it.
I want things to stay the same. I want things to stay the same. I'm sick of it. I'm sick of the new.
Yeah.
Rise from your grave.
This podcast is brought to you by Squarespace. Squarespace is an all-in-one website platform that helps you stand out online. Yes, that's right. You don't have to smash your face with a hammer. You can just start a business. It's got everything you need on Squarespace, from securing your domain to building a professional site and showcasing your work all in one place. Let's say you want to show everybody how you can carve your ribs out of your lower abdomen so that you look more like a Ken doll. That's amazing. You can bring your vision to life with AI-powered design or curated templates, plus flexible editing tools that helps you create something that truly reflects your style, especially if you are somebody that is trying to corrupt the young men of America. That's what Squarespace is really going to help you. Squarespace makes it easy. It makes it easy for you to put all that together, and you just go to Squarespace and do it all. Thanks, Braden. Head to squarespace.com/left for a free trial. And when you're ready to launch, use offer code LEFT to save 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain. This is a paid ad by BetterHelp. It's so important to remember with the busyness of the holidays, every holiday, Arbor Day, that day about the planet, President's Day. There's so many things to adapt to in this life, and it doesn't follow a perfect plan. God, ruins the whole weekend. But therapy with BetterHelp, the world's largest online therapy platform, it can be a space to pause, reevaluate, and adjust to any unexpected changes. With over 30,000 therapists worldwide, BetterHelp is one of the leading online therapy platforms, having served millions of people globally. BetterHelp makes it easier to fit therapy into your routine. You're in good hands, too. BetterHelp therapists have at least 3 years and 1,000 hours and hours of hands-on experience, and hold all required education, training, and certifications. It's easy to do, and the help is better over there. You don't have to navigate life's changes alone. Sign up and get 10% off at betterhelp.com/lastpod. That's betterhelp.com/lastpod. Summer means freedom. And for adults, summer means work next to freedom. But thanks to Mint Mobile's summer sale, it can almost feel like the work is playtime for the adults. Right now, all of Mint's plans are $15 per month, even unlimited. Free yourself from big wireless and switch to Mint Mobile for high-speed data and coverage on the T-Mobile 5G network. It's so well connected, I could call from anywhere, deep from well within my bunker, where my AI-fueled robots slowly but surely toil for me, but I know for a fact I'm saving money on my phone plan, or up above, where I'm training all of my giant Amazon female warriors who will fight in bulletproof mesh. Also, honestly, Mint Mobile's really cheap and it's really reliable, so you should use it. To get your new wireless plan for just $15 a month, go to mintmobile.com/LPOTL. That's mintmobile.com/LPOTL. Cut your wireless bill to $15 a month at mintmobile.com/LPOTL. That's it. There's no catch. Upfront payment of $45 per 3 months, $90 for 6 months, or $180 for 12 months. Plan required, $15 per month equivalent. Taxes and fees extra. Initial plan term only. Greater than 50 gigabytes may slow when network is busy. Includes up to 20 gigabyte hotspot. Capable device required. Availability, speed, and coverage varies. See mintmobile.com.
Well, I guess speaking of going to prison, like, how do you feel, like, as sort of a person who's, new to this world, like, how do you feel the whistleblower movement is going right now?
How's it going?
How's it going? Like, how do you see this whistleblower movement?
Well, I think it's been very effectively crushed.
Yeah.
I mean, it's, but not entirely crushed. I think,
Effectively grushed.
Grush, yes. I think we still have this. David Grush is still, I think, heroic for what he's done, and I think people like Grush and Lou Elizondo, these people who are willing to really sacrifice their own security, their own like people, they're losing their retirement incomes.
They're tearing Grush apart now. They're tearing him apart. They came out. They released his bipolar disorder diagnosis. They released all this stuff to basically say they're slamming him because I guess he's skipping out on meetings with Arrow. He's supposed to be going to meet with them, and they're like, "Well, he didn't show up to his appointment."
Yeah, well, that's the thing, and of course, no one's going to meet with Arrow because they're full of shit.
Yeah, I guess it's it doesn't matter.
Everyone knows. Everyone knows Arrow is a complete sham.
Yeah.
And so most of the most of the people that are sort of queued up to be whistleblowers, none of them want to talk to Arrow because no one trusts them. You've got Sean Kirkpatrick going around, on his campaign of character assassination, not just of Grush. He's he's basically calling anyone in Congress who's taking this seriously deluded, and they're part of a religious cult.
Yeah,
and he's so you've got and that's going all the way up to people like Chuck Schumer, Mike Rounds. So it's there's a lot not a lot to encourage people to go to Arrow.
Sure. I mean, what Arrow, the way that they look at it, it reminds me of when Fife Symington, the mayor of Phoenix, who was in power after
still
the Phoenix.
owe him a beat down.
Well, if you don't know, Fife, the Phoenix Lights is, possibly one of the largest and most widely seen UFO events in recent times. Fife Symington, the mayor, came out and said, "Guys, listen. We solved it. We've got the perpetrators." And he brought out a guy in an alien costume.
Well, it's also the guy
handcuffs on him, and it was insulting.
Yeah.
But he's also the dude who let Joe Arpaio go wild for however long. So
And then years later, he came forward and said,
sorry.
I saw it. Yeah, I said, no, I think it was. I think it was a non-human craft, and he admitted. He said, and I saw it. He said, I saw the craft, and he said, I'm a pilot. That was not anything that we have.
Your name's Fife, dude. What are you, some kind of like grasshopper apprentice to a magician?
Yeah.
Like, that is the weirdest name I've ever heard for a governor.
Yeah, Fife Symington.
Fife
Yeah.
Symington?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Well, when we're talking about like,
his brother Piccolo Symington.
Hello. Welcome to Arizona.
Don't mind the rats.
They are my family.
Well, I guess recently, like, you know, we've had certain like or I guess more like alien stories in the news. The mummy, the Peruvian mummy.
Yeah, see, that's the thing. I keep thinking like my aperture of credulity. I keep thinking I can keep it tight. I can keep it, focused. And then the mummies come along, and I go to myself, okay, that I can just that's just bullshit, right? I don't have to pay attention to that. And then it turns out you do have to pay attention to it.
Welcome to ufology.
Yeah, because there's a lot of people studying these things and saying, oh, these are not manufactured.
They have
items.
bones in them. They have bones in them. They are definitely some form of construct. They don't know exactly, but they do believe that they might be some form of ceremonial baby mummy.
Yeah,
which is
ancient
cute as hell.
babies.
Yeah, but it's...
And I hope Alec Baldwin, if he doesn't, I mean, hopefully his trial goes well. So he can play baby mummy, because I think that would he be very good at. But it's a whole thing. Did you see the way they brought it in to the Peruvian government when they were doing the big hearing, when the guy he brought in he literally brought him in 2 suitcases like he was like an old timey vacuum salesman.
Yeah, well, you got Jaime Maussan and again in Mexico he's a celebrity. His show is huge. But he is a bit of a huckster, I mean, he is there's a bit of a P.T. Barnum quality to him.
Can I ask your opinion on the inclusion of the huckster in this world? It's like, I kind of believe that
this is an ongoing argument between me and Henry.
Yes, well, I believe that the huckster is crucial to the paranormal world, because unfortunately the huckster is the guy that packages it for public consumption and then puts it out. And then the problem is that then the huckster is the one who also makes the money on top of it, which is the sad part of the industry, the fact that there's an industry built around it. But I do think that some of the razzle dazzle is like important for the thing.
Well, and my argument against that is that the huckster is so easily disproven that it disproves and discredits the entire movement.
Yes, it blurs all of the distinctions and what you can consider to be credible.
Sure.
Yeah.
So I'm right.
Yeah. You guys can agree. I might have a huckster. I'd say that it's like, people have ENFP or whatever that phenotype is. I think I'm that.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
I don't know, buddy. It's just like, have you went and gotten your balls measured? There's the incredible. They tell you your personality by your balls. It is over by the quartz dildos.
Oh,
By the vibrating pads.
Oh my God! So that's what that guy was doing.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Don't
I thought it was someone was just being pleasant. Why? Thank you, sir.
Yeah, a guy came up to me, grabbed my balls, and he said, "You're an extrovert."
Yeah. I think the guy grabbing your balls is probably an extrovert too.
I mean, some of my the huckster for me, like, it lives very much in like the cryptozoology world. Like my favorite huckster was the Bigfoot guy who showed up with a suitcase full of guts. Well, it wouldn't be like a suitcase; it was a cooler full of guts.
Well, good. Yeah,
that you said was Bigfoot guts.
Yeah,
and I think
don't
it turned
bring
out
the head, just the guts.
Yeah,
that's how we'll know.
Don't bring the feet.
Well, I don't know. Like, when do you think that cryptozoology? Like, how far outside of the UFO world do you go? Do you go into the cryptozoology world at all?
I don't want to.
Come on in, the water's fine.
Yeah, but then again, you sort of go. The trouble is you find out that there's overlap. There's overlap, and I mean, it's like James Lukatsky, who ran the ALSAT program. He's basically said that you can't really do a study of UFOs without also looking at the paranormal. Yeah. Because he said that wherever the UFOs show up, paranormal events happen.
Yeah. The flaps.
Yeah. So things happen. So there'll be UFOs, and then there's going to be poltergeist.
Yep.
Or there's going to be cryptids are going to show up, or there's going to be portals. There's all these weird things are going to show up around where UFOs are showing up, and like Skinwalker Ranch is a great kind of focal point for all of it. But he said, if you want to understand the phenomena, you have to look at all of it. You have to look at ghosts. You have to look at hauntings. You have to look at Bigfoot. You have to
each day you become a worse and worse person. Like each day more and more difficult to reach, more and more difficult to build a bridge to.
But who's to say a poltergeist isn't an alien life form?
Yeah, no, well, I mean, that's what they were experiencing at Skinwalker all the time. Classic poltergeist activity. And they're saying this is all part of the same phenomenon. That there's a trickster quality to the UFOs.
Yeah, have you ever heard of the Pennsylvania UFO Bigfoot flap of 1973?
No. It sounds like a great album. Yeah.
It's one of those cases where, people were for months seeing UFO after UFO, and people having like these very intense, like aggressive encounters with Bigfoots.
Yeah.
Throughout. Also, are you Bigfoots or Big Feet?
I would go Big Feet. Yeah, Big Feet. Yeah.
Wow.
You'd be incorrect.
Which, yeah. But then again, I cheer for a team called the Leafs. Yeah.
Well, I guess in that same vein, like some of our favorite stories throughout the years have been stories like the Battle of Dulce. Are you familiar with this story?
Yes, yeah. The gentleman said he was basically on the construction crew of an underground bunker, alien hiding place.
Yeah. Phil Schneider.
Yes, and he had a shootout with.
And I'll show you my laser scars. Have you ever
Yeah.
seen the thing where he lifts his shirt, you see the scars on it, which just looks like my father had an old timey surgery where they had like for some reason his esophagus was loose or something when he was a baby, so they like carved him in half, and so he always had this scar across his belly.
Yeah.
And so Phil Schneider always shows the hand. He's like, "See what they did to my hand."
Yeah.
It's very sad.
There's no other way to lose a finger. No, I mean that's that's one of the stories where I go, I don't buy it. I'm not going to,
But do you think there's because with stories like that, because I do look at the hucksters and the people who are far more credible, and we're kind of believers, or at least I'm sort of a believer that like paranormal activity and sometimes UAP activity can be to the average person, let's say, extraordinarily dull, and it doesn't have a lot of zazz to it.
That's where the huckster comes in.
But that's the thing is is there do you think that in those incredibly crazy stories, do you think there's a kernel of truth that kind of grows into something that eventually grows into reptilians versus grays and a character named that blows off Phil Schneider's finger?
Yeah, well, I mean, that's the thing is it's as I said, I keep wanting there to be something that I can just dismiss, to narrow it down, and then you keep going, but then something comes along, so and to a certain extent, for a while, I just didn't really want to think about the abduction phenomenon, know?
Yeah.
But then at a certain point, I realized, wait a minute, if I'm taking the notion that there are spacecraft circling our planet, interacting with people, they're showing up everywhere, it's more crazy to not think that abductions are real.
You don't even know what slippery slope you're on right now.
Yeah.
I narrated a documentary about the hybrid baby program.
Yeah.
And then when I met all these people, because I did the same thing, I was like, do I really want, if I do this voice on this, that means I believe in this.
Yeah.
And so I was just like, send me the stuff. And so they sent me all the raw interviews.
Yeah.
And it's extremely compelling. They are traumatized. They have dealt with something. These are people literally saying, I had a baby inside of me. I watched a gray air lifted out of my belly. I went home. I had no baby inside of me anymore. And they're crying and stuff.
Yeah.
And first of all, like, I'm just, I don't have emotions. So it's hard for me to accept. So like I'm sitting there, but there's something happening.
Well, yeah. I mean, I remember reading David Jacobs' book, The Threat, back in like the late 90s. And at the time I thought, nah, this is too much. This is, and then, but then, reading more about it and, reading John Mack, who's
he was legit too. And he destroyed his whole life writing about it.
Oh yeah.
Give us a little bit of a background on John Mack.
Well, John Mack, he was the head of Harvard's psychiatry department. And had won a Pulitzer Prize for his sort of psychological biography of Lawrence of Arabia, and he was pretty much as highly respected as you can be in the field of psychology and psychiatry, and he got exposed to I'm blanking on his name, the guy who wrote Missing Time.
Bud Hopkins.
Bud Hopkins, thank you. Yeah. So he met Bud Hopkins, and Bud Hopkins started telling him about the people he was working with. And so John Mack said, well, this sounds interesting. And so he started interviewing people. And
everything just blows up and everyone's saying, stop, John.
Yeah.
Stop. And he does.
Oh, yeah. And people who, for no other reason than that he was taking abductions seriously. He was slandered by his colleagues and peers, and he was investigated by his university, and they were going to try to take away his tenure, and and they were criticizing him publicly all the time, and talking about him like he had gone crazy. But if you looked at him and talked to him, you could see he hasn't gone crazy.
No,
and he doesn't think any of the people he's talking to are crazy. He thinks they have a real experience, and he wanted to figure it out. And then he also wound up going to Zimbabwe to investigate the aerial school.
That's where I know his name
sightings.
from, the aerial school.
That's the most interesting case I think I've heard.
Oh, it's amazing. Yeah, and the documentary about it is fantastic. The aerial phenomenon.
No, and they are. That is. I feel like that is up there with my most compelling story.
Yeah.
Well, that's the documentary you mentioned earlier. I mean, that just cinches it at the very end. It comes and it just kind of punches you in the face with the aerial school phenomenon.
Yeah, and then again, it's that thing. You realize that these kids have been living with the ramifications of having this experience.
Yes.
And a lot of them of having parents that wouldn't listen to them, wouldn't believe them, and the trauma of just not being listened to when you've had an experience that is life-changing.
Yeah.
At
least when you get attacked by a shark, people believe you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We got evidence.
Yeah.
I also, what I've really been doing is helping my buddy. He's got 2 young boys, and I've really tried to help them get acclimated to the world by dressing as a gray and hovering in front of their bedroom window before they go to sleep.
Yeah.
Only just to kind of get them used to it. I just do like a slow wave. I go like this. I beckon them to come. I say the Earth's in danger a lot, but I just say Earth's in danger, just to kind of get them used to it.
Yeah.
And they so far have really they're doing well in school.
Yeah. It's a good thing. Not a lot of people take the time to do public service.
And they didn't ask for it.
No. That's what makes it more generous.
Yeah, they explicitly said they didn't want it.
Yeah.
So I was like, can you stop me? You have to sleep.
Yeah.
We're talking about this guy who put everything on the line, pretty much ruined his life to talk about this stuff. How close are you to ruining your life?
Oh, no, because there was no reason to take me seriously to begin with. I mean, there was a chance. I mean, I don't know. There may be jobs I won't get because, someone goes, oh, he's into crazy UFO shit.
Dude, Dean Cain still makes 3 movies a year. Yeah. There's a lot. Yeah. Yeah. They're weird.
Well, there's a mystery.
So what is the violent opposition to it? What is behind the violent opposition to any sort, and someone giving any sort of credence to UFOs?
Well, it's deliberately created, and there's a paper trail on this. That there was the CIA set up something called the Robertson Panel back in 1952, because they were having a problem of UFOs were buzzing the White House and the Capitol building over 2 weekends, and everyone was seeing it, and everybody was reporting it, and everybody was all excited about it, and so the CIA got this panel together to try and figure out, well, what do we do about this? And their conclusion was, well, we can't do anything about the UFOs themselves. So let's get people to stop thinking about it.
Because then it's like it goes away.
Yeah, and that was their plan. And basically they used all the tools of public relations and propaganda, that had been outlined, like you can, some of it you can read in like Noam Chomsky's Manufacturing Consent. And I forget the name of the guy who actually created that term back in the 1920s. Who inspired the Nazis as well, and it's a program of deliberate ridicule, debunking, and explaining, and creating the stereotypes that everyone latched onto and believe. The idea of that all UFO experiencers are toothless hicks in trailer parks,
right?
And they're all crazy, and so that image of the UFO experiencer became so powerful that people who were perhaps lawyers, doctors, police officers, commercial pilots would say, "Well, I don't want people to think I'm that," and so they would be silenced. So you had basically everyone too fearful to tell their truth. And it's so effective that you don't really, after a certain point, once you create the environment of what sensible people will and won't think about, you don't have to censor anything. You don't have to have a big, massive conspiracy because it enforces itself. Like a lot of people, I think, there's a lot of people are convinced that most of the mainstream press are on the payroll of the CIA.
Sure.
And that's why they won't talk about it. And that's probably true in some cases. We knew that was true back in the 70s. There, hundreds of reporters turned out to be on CIA payroll.
Yeah.
So
I am as well.
Oh, good. Yeah. So I'm saying it's probably true in some cases, but I'd say for the most part, the editorial staff, the writers at the New York Times, they just don't believe it.
Yeah.
And they don't want to think about it, and they won't look at the evidence. So all of their journalistic skills go out the window if the Pentagon tells them something about UFOs, they don't question any of it. They don't do any follow-up. They just print exactly what they're told by the government. And, even like I remember watching a press conference, a Pentagon press conference, and they're talking about, UFOs. And the old thing, they say, 95% of this we've been able to explain, which is always garbage because, you've explained the stuff that we all knew was garbage.
Yeah.
But the only part that's interesting is that 5 you can't.
Yeah.
And on that, they'll just say something like, some things do display unusual flight characteristics. And not one journalist in the room said, what would those be?
Yeah. What does that mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They all just went, oh, that's it, just unusual flight characteristics. Oh, well, we don't need to worry about this. And, the fact that those unusual flight characteristics are right-angle turns at 5,000 miles an hour.
Yeah. It would squish anybody inside into like a liquid. I do think that there's a reticent fear. I think there's a fear.
Yeah.
I think there's a little bit still of the just the straight up, that scares the shit out of me. Yeah. I don't want to deal with it.
Yeah. And also just that fear of I don't want to lose my position in the culture. Yes. I'm the sensible one. I'm the smart one.
No one is.
Yeah.
And I think what's beautiful about the phenomena is that it does make a believer out of you, whether you like it or not. Like I think about J. Allen Hynek. J. Allen Hynek.
Yeah.
When he went he was the debunk officer, and then he came out of it. You hear time and time again these guys that walk in as trying to be some form of objective observer. They see all of this stuff. It turns them crazy. Something happens. They break. Yeah. They fall apart because the phenomena is going to get you whether you like it or not.
It's too much evidence.
Yeah. Well, David Grush was thought he was going to debunk the whole thing in a matter of months.
Yeah.
And he spent 4 years researching it and interviewing people. And that's the thing. That's the other thing. People call that hearsay. But no, a 4-year investigation by a trained intelligence officer,
yes,
who has clearances to, the highest clearances you can possibly have in government. That a 4-year that is not hearsay. That is the result of a lengthy and serious investigation. That's like saying the prosecution in a murder trial we can't convict because it's just hearsay because the prosecutor didn't even commit the murder.
Well, there is within that, like, there's a bit of a conundrum. Not everyone can be telling the truth.
No,
like when it comes to UFOs, like it can't be that every single story. Where is the line of credulity?
Well, that's the thing. I think in general, the vast majority of human beings are full of shit.
Right.
Yeah.
We all are. There's people.
Me?
There are lots of crazy,
Yes,
and there
Henry.
are a lot of crazy people in the world.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people living with delusions. So the UFO community is no different from the rest of humanity.
But the connection to the intelligence services is also interesting because they also purposefully work with unreliable narrators. They purposefully work with people.
They'll promote them, yeah.
Yeah, and they move them through the system. These assets are the whole point is that they're burnable. Is that they serve a purpose, and then we can scrape them off, and no one's going to say anything. We're like, oh, he's just a loser.
Yeah, well, that's part of the program. Part of what the Robinson panels recommended was to do that.
Yeah.
And you hear from a lot of intelligence people that military people will say, yeah, we didn't really have to we didn't have to do that much. The UFO community would do it for us.
Yeah.
Yeah,
the UFO community has not really been the best at messaging.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of it has to do with the lack of belts and the use of suspenders. And I think that there's a lot of lead and there's a lot of stuff in a lot of the pendants that these guys are getting from some of these vendors.
Yeah.
I think, unfortunately, you have to sift through all the bullshit to find anything that's credible.
And that's and again that's just true of every walk of life. If you put away all your critical faculties, but then again, sometimes those critical faculties tell you, oh, I have to believe some crazy shit that I don't want to believe.
Yeah.
For me as a lifelong atheist, I don't like the idea that I can no longer just blanket call religious people nuts.
Right.
Because now I'm going, oh, well, there's overlap there too.
Yeah, it's a lot of stuff.
That maybe a lot of like the because I always thought of religious miracles that almost every religion has, that I always thought those were just bullshit stories told to con the marks.
Yeah.
But now I'm going, well, all right, well, I guess miracles can happen, and if you're living at a time or your frame of reference is religious, then you're gonna interpret these weird things as miracles and give them religious value. But I mean, as someone who believes what people say about their abduction experiences, I mean, if people can't be levitated out of their beds and floated through solid walls, that pretty much qualifies as a miracle.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the idea that any technology that it is sufficiently advanced enough is indistinguishable from magic.
Yeah.
Arthur C. Clarke.
Yeah. But I mean, like, now we got to go, well, you know what? The Greek gods might have all kind of had a seed of truth to
Makes
it.
as much sense to me as the Bible.
My theory about a lot of the Greek gods is that I think that famous people of the time became archetypes, and as time went and the natures and the actual personalities that those things were represented on, that time passed, and that eventually like they just became figures of something. Like Dionysus was a guy or a person that was like very in the old days. He was a guy that like he always was the party guy. He always did the thing, and then it turned into a blown out version later on.
Yeah, that's quite possible.
It's total horseshit.
Yeah, or there were aliens.
Yeah.
that did things that looked like magic, and they seemed to be able to manipulate reality.
It's interesting you brought that out because I'm also a lifelong atheist, and so it's like what is it about aliens that I believe in that like I can't put that towards religion?
Yeah, well,
because an alien hasn't like got me super guilty about masturbating.
no,
They want you to.
yeah.
They're excited for it because they don't want to they don't want to pin you to the table and fish that thing up your urethra. They want you to just give it to them.
Yeah, it might just be an alien that's never asked you for money.
That's what it is.
That's the thing. There's no guy that was like that. Dave Miscavige.
Okay. That's
That's where Scientologists do ask you for money.
Yeah.
That crew.
The Catholics own a lot of nice property too.
They can liquidate. Have you seen that? The pack of people in like the Enterprise uniforms.
I saw them. I didn't know what they were.
So
I have no idea. They look like Sea Org, but I don't know if they are.
I thought they were, but they are their own LARPing community, I believe, is the term where they work and live and act as if they are a Starfleet on their own.
Wow.
And I actually wonder if they have dues.
Yeah,
Like if they have to pay in.
I'm probably not the person to ask.
Actually, I'm the person to ask because I did speak with these people quite extensively at WonderCon last year.
Oh, well, there you go.
There's dues.
Yeah, those outfits don't come from nowhere.
They are expensive. They have all the medals and they have all the sashes.
And unfortunately, depending on where you live in California, that you are assigned a spaceship. Like you can't just say like, oh, my favorite's Deep Space Nine. I can't say, oh, I want to be on Deep Space Nine because of where I live. I have to be an Enterprise. I have to be Scott Bakula has to be my captain. It fucking sucks. Mad about it.
Do you know Scott Bakula?
I don't know Scott Bakula. I don't.
I have nothing against
the rest
Scott.
of this.
I don't know.
That's all I was going to talk about. I've been waiting for my in to see if I can get to him.
Rise from your grave.
So a lot of people are super worried about investing. I understand. Money's fake. And you're like, why can't I just pull all my money out of the bank, turn it into like essentially smelted precious metals, place them up inside of my anal cavity in order to get across the various country lines? I understand you. I'm with you. I'm like you. But things like Acorn showed me it's okay to invest. Give your money a chance to grow with financial wellness app Acorns. Sign up in minutes and start automatically investing your spare money, whether it's a little or it's a lot, especially if it's a little. And the Acorns potential screen will show you the power of compounding and how your money can grow over time. I'm actually not joking here. Investing money as early as you can is super important. I heard early on a piece of advice that said it's not how much you put in the market, it's how long you are in the market for. All right, so go and do it. Sign up now and Acorns will boost your new account with a $5 bonus investment. Join the over 14 million all-time consumers who have already saved and invested over $27 billion with Acorns. Head to acorns.com/left or download the Acorns app to get started. Paid non-client endorsement. Compensation provides incentive to positively promote Acorns. Tier 2 compensation provided. Potential subject to various factors such as customers' accounts, age, investment settings. Does not include Acorns fees. Results do not predict or represent the performance of any Acorns portfolio. Investment results will vary. Investing involves risk. Acorns Advisors, LLC, an SEC registered investment advisor. View important disclosures at acorns.com/left. Woo-hoo! Woo!
Yeah.
Woo!
Yeehaw! Bang! 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 Man, we got our Omaha steak boxes in today.
My Omaha steak box arrived for our personal experience, and I gotta say, just opening it up made me excited. The steam of the dry ice, the gleam of all of the meat products. And you know what it has is one of my favorite things is my selection. It's like, because obviously I love a big steak, but they do get the little baby steaks, the little sirloins, those little poppers. You could eat 3 or 4 of them on a go.
They're like if steaks were oysters.
That's like my favorite because they're good for breakfast. You can do 5 or 6 in a go. Go to Omaha Steaks. This is not even just like, yeah, sure, they gave us meat, and yeah, sure, they pay us money, but honestly, they're really good meat.
Yeah, you like fat dogs, and I ain't talking about regular dogs. I'm talking about these hot dogs. Man, those hot dogs, they've been chunky.
They are thick as Andre the Giant's fingers.
Honestly, I'm like worried about where I'm going to get a bun that can support these thick dogs.
I'll show you where to get one.
Thank you.
Try the Burger Perfection flight at omahasteaks.com today. That's 20 premium steak burgers for just $79.99. Plus get $35 off with promo code LEFT. That's omahasteaks.com, promo code LEFT for $35 off at checkout. Terms apply. See site for details. Go and get yourself some meat. The first few weeks back at school set the tone for the rest of the year. iExcel helps kids build confidence and get up to speed fast. IXL is an award-winning learning platform that helps kids truly understand what they're learning, whether they're building math confidence, strengthening reading and writing skills, or reviewing science concepts. We know our little Carmelita is doing extremely well in chemistry, to the point where we're almost concerned. Her experiments are taking her to the edge of knowledge and bringing her to questions of not whether she can do what she wants to do, but whether she should. And Wendy's learning a lot about the Civil War. And from pre-K through 12th grade, IXL offers personalized interactive learning that adapts to each child's level and pace. Like it balances Wendy's love of chicken with her love of the Civil War. But it's still wonderful what IXL helps her to get leaps and bounds beyond the other children at school. IXL is used in 96 of the top 100 school districts in the United States. 96 of the top 100! Studies show kids who use IXL score higher on tests, and also higher on whether or not they're going to get any snackies after their main dinner. Make an impact on your child's learning. Get IXL now. And Last Podcast on the Left listeners can get exclusive 20% off IXL membership when they sign up today at IXL.com/left. Visit IXL.com/left to get the most effective learning program out there at the best price.
Well, when it comes to close encounters, you've mentioned how like you've come closer to believing in abduction scenarios and all that.
I believe the stories that have been told.
One of the things that we've I guess discussed on the show is like whether this is physical phenomenon, whether you physically go into a spaceship, or whether it's psychic phenomenon. Because I know you recently on the latest podcast of your episode, you talked a lot about like DMT and how that might relate to the the experience. Like, do you think there's anything to the idea that UFO experiences are a purely psychic phenomenon?
Well, I think that was a big divide between Bud Hopkins and John Mack. John Mack was of the opinion that it's a real experience, but not necessarily a physical experience.
Sure.
Yeah. And Bud Hopkins was pretty convinced, no, this is something that's really physically happening. And, and he, cited the fact that because they have evidence that people are actually missing. People they're gone for a period of time and then they're back. And, the people, in their homes are aware of it. They're, so I think, as with almost everything in this to do with UFOs, it's probably a mix of both. I think probably some of the time, these abductions are just I'll call it a psychic experience, because maybe they are gone to the extent that their consciousness is taken away and taken somewhere else.
Sure.
And that somewhere else could be an actual physical space as well, but your body doesn't go with you on it. Because the other part of the overlapping is the whole the near death experiences, or now what some people are calling it recalled experiences of death. Because we're now reviving people who've been dead for over an hour.
Does that work?
Yeah, it's apparently
we don't come back all weird.
Yes,
it's tricky because here's the weird thing: is when when someone's been dead for that long, reintroducing blood and oxygen to the brain it's toxic to the brain at that point and can kill the brain. So they're developing techniques for how to reintroduce the blood back into the brain, like starting like basically moving the blood throughout the whole body before it gets to the brain.
Whoa!
In order to avoid poisoning the brain with blood.
If I've been dead for 2 hours and I come back, do I still have to work for money? I feel like that should mean I'm out. I feel like that should mean like you're dead.
Well, I think the doctor should be responsible for you for life.
Yeah,
it should be like I was in a good place.
Yeah.
But he's saying, there's the Parnia labs at NYU. There's a Dr. Parnia. There's a great 45-minute documentary on YouTube about it. But he said, an hour. You're not. This isn't a near-death experience. These people are dead.
Yes.
These are good and solidly dead people, and they come back, with experiences that can't be explained because all of their sensory apparatus is dead.
Yeah.
But they're having these experiences, and there's a certain uniformity to the experiences. And I mean, one of the things that's kind of a drag for religion is that it seems like everybody gets in. You don't have to follow any rules.
Right at the end, you can kill 9 families and you know, like play with their bodies, make puzzle pieces out of their child's skin, and then at the moment you die, you can ask for forgiveness, and God's like, got it.
Oh, that's God. But I'm just saying, like everyone who dies seems to have an experience where they go to this place and everyone says, "Oh, I felt wonderful. I felt this overwhelming sense of love," and
and they describe a place.
A place, yes. Yeah, a lot of them, it's a place, a very familiar place, like a field, a beautiful field, or some people are in just sort of a light-filled void, But they describe being somewhere.
Interesting.
And meeting people.
My father died for 6 minutes, and he said nothing. He said, "There's nothing." He's like, yeah. You got nothing to look forward to. It's all.
Yeah. We just want to make sure we leave you feeling hopeful. Would you do like I will not do the Neuralink, but something like a Neuralink? Would you think you'd ever do that? Do you think that you'd go transhuman?
I'd probably do that. Yeah. Just out of boredom.
I just wonder, because I really do, because like they're talking about like, the human body can probably naturally live to the year 200 and shit. It's like my parents hit 72 and they are out of money.
Yeah.
They have absolutely nothing.
Yeah. That is a problem. Yeah. I keep thinking, because I used to think, I'd like to live 200 years. And now that I'm 61, I'm going, oh, geez, I don't want to keep working that long. Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. We should be put in like a field or something. There should be a field that we're put.
Yeah. No, and dead sounds really nice.
That sounds relaxing.
Yeah. My thought, if I thought death was imminent, the first thing I was thinking about is that I would want to do is make sure I got a lot of naps in.
Yeah.
Because as far as I can tell, there's no napping in the afterlife. You never hear anyone saying, "Oh, it was great, and I had found a nice hammock and I laid down for a while."
No, it's like pressure of meeting every person you've ever known, talking to all your old relatives.
Yeah.
They're asking shit about like who's won the last 50 Super Bowls. You're like, shut the fuck up.
Aunt Judy, I thought you were gone.
So, lastly, what is your case right now? What's the case you're obsessed with right now?
That I'm obsessed with? I don't know. Actually, right now, the thing that's bothering me, mostly it bothered me that no one's paying attention to it, is the fact that like Langley Air Force Base is constantly being buzzed by something they keep insisting are drones. But for some reason, Langley Air Force Base, where they store the top of the line jets for the country. It's also the front line. If anything happens in Washington, they take off. They can't seem to shoot down even one of these drones, and this keeps going on, and it's been happening, for months and months, and they just keep sort of dismissing it, and again, the press just goes, "Oh, drones, who cares then?" But no, this is our this is restricted airspace that these things are coming into.
Yeah.
And they can't knock them out of the sky. And at the same time, when Iran sent hundreds of cruise missiles and drones to attack Israel, they were able to shoot down 99% of them.
Yeah. And they just said, and then when we shot down that object over Alaska, it was the size of a sedan. We shot down that very quickly. I do think that's they're full of shit.
Yeah. Well, and then they forgot to watch where it landed.
Yeah, that idea. And then I got what I love about the show is that I'll get like the emails from people like at the time. They were like, you remember they said when they shot the object over Alaska, they're like, the storm's here, we can't find it. And they were all like, it was clear for a week.
Yeah.
It was it's just in the middle of nowhere. And they said they saw copters going back and forth and they were doing something, but it was like, you didn't find this super top secret thing.
And originally they said it landed on the ice. So it's pretty easy to spot something that isn't ice on the ice.
So do you think with all this stuff, are we getting closer to contact, like full contact, or is it always been this way and people are just starting to talk about it?
Well, I think it has always been this way. I mean, it seems like, that there's certainly a lot of good evidence that these incidents, these kind of experiences have been going on for thousands of years, as far back as we have recorded history. Even in petroglyphs, we're seeing these things. So it seems like it's been going on for a long time, and there certainly has been an awful lot of interaction, with humanity, and there's certainly with abductions. We're probably talking, just in the United States, millions of people have probably had this experience. So it's just a question of, are we ever going to get to a general acknowledgement from society that this stuff is real and it's happening? And once we do, I still worry. I don't know how the world works once we're all admitting it.
Well, this is the thing that's now come up several times in a conversation this weekend that we've talked about, this idea of what disclosure means. What does it look like? Like, I'm still of the belief that a UFO could land on the lawn of the White House and people would not even believe it. That they would, now that at this point, information is so hard to confirm. Everybody doesn't believe in the mainstream media. Why in the living fuck would they believe that a UFO is real?
Or they would ignore it because, what does a UFO have to do with the price of a gallon of milk?
Yeah. Yeah. And so I've had that conversation with somebody who said, well, okay, maybe UFOs are real, but how does it affect me?
Yeah.
And I said, well, that's I understand that. But I said, hey, did you see that photograph of the black hole? And they go, oh, yeah. Well, why were you interested in that?
Yeah, exactly.
You think you're being rational, but you aren't. It isn't a rational thing. Well, it doesn't affect me, so I'm not going to think about it. No, you've been conditioned to respond that way.
It's like, I can't care about UFOs. I'm searching for Kate Middleton. I've got to find her. I dare you. This is a distraction. It's a smokescreen.
Yeah. Oh, I know. Or people say, oh, it's all a way for the Pentagon to get more money. No, they have more money than they know what to do with.
They don't need more excuses. They have. They're already asking for trillions of dollars.
Yeah, they're not. Yeah, they don't. UFOs are not a good public relations ploy for the military. No, because it's basically you say, hey, you got to give us more money because we can't do a fucking thing.
Yeah, we don't know.
Now, do you find this to be scary or interesting?
Both. I do find. I think it's. I don't think it's wise to not be a little frightened by this.
Yeah.
Because I don't know what happened. Again, I don't know how it changes the balance of things if we as a species all agree that this is real. I don't know if that changes how we're interacting with the non-human intelligences, plural, which seems to be the case.
Yeah.
I don't know how that changes how they deal with us if we suddenly become more of a problem for them. What happens?
But so far we can't really get past the moon too far, so I don't think they're really worried about us.
No. I feel like it's also important that while we're invested in this material, it is good to keep a grounded foot outside. It's good to do things like see it, be with people that have family.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like people do stuff like that where they go, anything else but UFOs, it's good.
Yeah. Well, that's what people asked Lou Elizondo what he thought, what people should do to prepare. And he just said, hug your loved ones.
Yeah. Because when that rain of fire comes down, we're all going to be screaming, bubbling skeletons, even if we're miserable, even if we're here.
Yeah.
Yep.
Hug your loved ones and dynamite. Dynamite's good.
Yeah, throw it at the thing. Do you find that have you now had enough time yet in ufology for it to bring stranger or more interesting or crazier people into your life than like kids did? Or like, do you feel that you're still, you're not there. Yeah.
No.
There,
I mean, well, you guys, in comedy, like.
Yeah, we just dodge predators. Mostly you just dodge predators and then you just try to make it to the end.
Yeah, I think it's actually, it's brought a lot of very interesting people into my life, and a lot of very serious people, and a lot of
I find it extremely sad. This is probably the only way I would have gotten to meet you, but I really do. At the same time, it's a wonderful exploration.
It's much easier than you might imagine.
I'll find you now.
Dave Foley, ladies and gentlemen.
This is so good.
Thank you so much.
Thanks for having me.
His podcast really is available wherever podcasts are available.
I hope so. Yeah, I don't know why anyone would exclude it. Yeah,
you've been doing it for about a year now, right?
Just under a year, I think. Yeah.
So there's plenty of episodes out there. It's great. I've listened to a few episodes, so please go check it out. Anything else that you would like people to check out?
No.
Not the New Kids in the Hall show on Amazon.
No. It's like if they haven't seen it yet, they're not going to. And I don't want to say, I've been meaning to. Well, no, you're never going to.
And thank you so much to everybody who came out and saw all of our shows here at Contact in the Desert. Give yourself a hand, please.
Absolutely. And thank you, Contact in the Desert, for inviting us. This has been a lot of fun.
We hope to come back again next year. This has been such a great experience. So thank you all very much, ladies and gentlemen. Have a good day. Enjoy the rest of your time at the conference.
Paragold has Luxury Homes' largest selection of outdoor furniture, lighting, decor, and more. Access more than 2,000 of design's best brands with beautiful all-weather pieces in every style, from traditional to modern. Plus, enjoy free design services and full-service delivery on most items. Shop in-store and online at Paragold.com. Paragold. Luxury lives here.
Suffering from dry, tired, irritated eyes? Don't let dry eyes win. Use Systane Pro. It hydrates, restores, and protects dry eyes for up to 12 hours. Systane Pro. Triple action dry eye relief.